Hey guys, it's me Travis, the CEO and founder of PlayerProps.ai. This video is pretty self-explanatory. It's pretty all laid out there already in the thumbnail, in the title. This is the number one reason, the number one mistake you're making that is killing you when it comes to sports betting. Now, everybody that's in our community Discord, they already know about this because I harp on it every single day for the last, I don't know, 8, 12 months, who knows. The number one mistake that you are making as a sports bettor, the number one reason that you are losing all of your bets, if not a vast majority, but probably all your bets, is you are not practicing and implementing the guidelines known as bankroll management. Bankroll management is the reason why everybody in our Discord is winning so often and having their bankroll grow, and the amount of money in their DraftKings Sportsbook or FanDuel Sportsbook account or whatever sportsbook or prop app account, the money keeps going up because they're practicing bankroll management. I have a very specific and detailed strategy that is laid out for every single user. It's not behind a paywall or anything. It's 100% free because my entire mission in the sports betting industry is to make everyone a better bettor. Not just giving them the data that they need that PlayerProps.ai has or the AI projections, but also changing their mindset on what it takes and what it means to be a successful bettor. Bankroll management, here is the strategy that everybody in our Discord employs into their decision making. It's pretty short and sweet. It's also known as my 20-80-20 rule. Here is how the 20-80-20 rule works. If you implement this into your sports betting daily process, it is a guarantee that you will lose less of your slips. It's not a guarantee you're going to win all of them because it's sports betting and that's not just how this happens. But it is a guarantee if you're losing everything, you're losing every time you're betting, implementing this, guaranteed that's not going to happen anymore. So the 20-80-20 rule, let's go over those numbers one at a time. The first 20, you should never ever risk more than 20% of your entire bankroll at one time. 20% of your entire bankroll at one time. Now, before we get to the other numbers, let's focus on your bankroll. Your bankroll isn't, oh, I just deposited 50 bucks and that's what I'm going to bet with. That's how you continuously feed money into the machine that is the sports betting industry. That's how, FanDuel's a $50 billion company, because you keep depositing these micro numbers, you keep betting your entire bankroll, and you keep losing. This is how you start on the right track. Look at your finances. Look at how much money you need to spend on your rent or your mortgage and everything like that. You need to actually go through all of your spending and all of your income. Then you have to decide, based on all of those numbers, what is the most amount of money that I can lose, that you can just light on fire, you can lose completely, and you're still going to be able to pay the bills, pay the mortgage, pay the rent, get groceries, whatever else expenses that are put into there as well. Do not just keep depositing $10 here and $20 here. Can you afford to lose more than $20? If you can, why are you only depositing 20 bucks? That's not the right mindset. Look at all of your financial situation, and let's say you do look at it and the number you come up with is, technically speaking, I can afford to lose $1,000 and I can still pay my rent, I can still pay my mortgage and all the bills like I said before. So then that is your bankroll. You take the number, the most amount you're comfortable losing, then you put that into your sportsbook account. Now you can be across multiple sportsbooks, which I do recommend because we shop for lines and stuff like that. You don't just want to stay on one sportsbook. If you're in a state that has like 5, why are you just staying on one sportsbook? It's almost a guarantee that some of your bets you're placing on that one sportsbook has better odds or better lines on another sportsbook that's available to you in your state. If you want more information on what's available to your state, go in the Discord channel or the Discord server for PlayerProps.ai and just look at the partner section. It's kind of at the top. It'll say all the sportsbooks available in your state, and then it has links to get the best sign-up bonuses for each of those books as well. So check that out. So going again back to the $1,000. So I looked at all my stuff, and I can comfortably afford to lose $1,000 without having issues on paying the rest of my bills and my responsibilities. So then you deposit $1,000 in the sportsbook. That is your bankroll. It's not, oh, I'll just do $10. I'm going to deposit 10 here or 50 here or 100 here. If you can afford to lose more, you want to start That is the starting point, the most amount you're comfortable losing. Because the problem is, if you keep depositing $10 and $25, you're not, more than likely, you're not keeping track of all of that, and you're probably actually going to be depositing more than $1,000 or more than you're comfortable losing over a certain period of time, and then it becomes an issue because your brain thinks, you know, well, whatever, it's just $10 or it's just $20, but that catches up. So you start with 1,000. So you know, if you, in theory, lose this $1,000, you're not going to be depositing again until you get to another point where there's more money from your work or from whatever that's bringing in income. There's more money coming in, and then you can reset. You should not be depositing more than once a month, if not less than that. Maybe once every other month. Stop depositing every day. Stop depositing every week. That's not how this works. That's how you're lighting your money on fire. Again, we have $1,000 in our account, right? That 20% of the 20-80-20 rule, 20% of your bankroll should never be risked at one time. What's 20% of $1,000? It's $200. So at one given time, no matter what day of the week it is, day of the month, doesn't matter, you should never have risked more than $200 at one time. Now, can that $200 be on a single bet? Yeah, you can do that. Can the $200 be on a 20-pick parlay? No, that's not how it works. You can divide it up as much as you want, but then that's where the other 80-20 of the 20-80-20 rule comes in. So now we know the most amount we're comfortable losing without struggling paying the bills is $1,000. That's now deposited into our account. We now know that we cannot risk more than $200 of that $1,000 at any one given time. But how do we figure out what types of bets we're putting that $200 on if we even want to spend the full $200? That doesn't mean you have to spend 20% of your bankroll. That's just the maximum that should ever be risked at one given time. So, and I've seen too many people deposit and bet the entire amount. And it doesn't matter if they show their screenshot and it's just a 0.00 in their bankroll. That's how you light yourself on fire or light your money on fire. Well, anyway, so $1,000, 20%, $200. How do we divvy up or divide that $200? That's where the 80-20 comes into play. The next number on the 20-80-20 is 80. Of that 20%, again, which is the $200, of that 20%, that $200, 80% of that, which yes, is a large margin, 80% of that is for single bets and 2-pick parlays maximum. Focus. Of the $200, which is again the 20% of our bankroll, 80% of that can then be applied to single bets and 2-pick parlays. Now, if you're not in a sports betting state and you're in a state that allows pick'em apps or prop apps, like Prize Picks, for example, they don't have the ability to do single bets because it's not a sports book, it's a prop app. So of the pick'em apps and the prop apps, you just focus on that 2-pick part, or do a 3-pick flex, which means if you get one wrong, you can still make a profit. So it's almost the same. You just kind of move the number one more over. Going back to sports books, single bets, 2-pick parlays maximum. What's 80% of $200? It's $160. So what's left over is $40, which is 20% of the $200. 160, 40. So we know what our bankroll is. It's $1,000. We know what we can risk at maximum risk at any one given time, $200, 20%. 80% of the $200 is $160. So we're putting $160 on single bets and 2-pick parlays maximum. Then we still have $40 left over, and that is for 3 to 6-pick parlays. Now keep in mind, I didn't say 3-pick parlays and higher. 3 to 6-pick parlays. That is the bracket for the last 20% of that $200 that we're of our max spending. That does not include, this entire mathematical equation does not include 7-pick parlays, 8-pick parlays, 9-pick parlays, 10 or higher. Stop doing those. That is how you're lighting your money on fire. We're focusing on the majority of what we're risking on the safer 1 and 2-pick plays. We're focusing a small margin, the 20% left over, of that amount on 3 to 6-pick parlays. If you're doing anything beyond 6-pick parlays, I do not believe that you actually want to be a winning bettor. It's essentially anything beyond that is the same as a lotto ticket, for example. If you go to the store and you don't spend $50 on the lotto, why are you spending $50 on lotto tickets on, FanDuel Sportsbook or whatever? It's the same thing. If you're willing to spend that much money on lotto tickets and you're knowing that there's the chance of you winning is extremely, extremely small, then whatever, light your money on fire. This channel, this brand, this community is about making you a better bettor and making you reduce significantly the amount of slips that you are losing. Now, so we understand the 20-80-20 rule. If for whatever reason you're still not sure, you can go back and you can rewatch this video. At any one given time, you're not risking more than 20% of your bankroll. Of that 20%, 80% of it is towards the 1 to 2 picks, the safer plays. The other 20% is towards the 3 to 6 pick plays. Now, you may be asking some other questions on bankroll management that may be, how do I determine what parlays or what 1 to 2 picks? You should never go into sports betting research or figuring out what you want to do for the day thinking, okay, what am I going to do for a 6-pick parlay? Or what am I going to do for the 5-pick parlay? That is the wrong order. Again, you have to rewire your brain if you're looking to lose less often. You're always going towards the 80% first. It's not 20-20-80. It's 20-80-20. You're focusing on the 80% first. You're focusing on single bets that line up with your research. Yes, I love these plays. You can then put 2 of them together, specifically if they're in the same game, so you can root for 2 things at once in the same game. Doesn't mean you have to do same game parlays with the 2 picks. Just you can. And then, out of all of the picks that you find for single bets or 2 picks, then you can take those bets and be like, I really love these 3 more than anything. I'm going to make a 3-pick parlay out of them as well. The number one thing, which I know I just said, you do not want to do, go into something with a predetermined number of picks for a parlay. That is the worst possible mindset you can have. You're researching what bets in general, what single bets in general you really like, and you're only doing parlays with the single bets you've already researched and you've already locked in that you like the most. Do not go in to your research trying to find a 6-pick parlay. Don't do it. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I haven't covered yet. That's pretty much the main key component on why our Discord is winning at such a higher margin than anybody else outside of the Discord, because they practice bankroll management. Now, you may be thinking to yourself, if I bet, X amount of dollars on a -120 line or -150 line as a single bet, I'm not getting that much profit. I'd rather bet that on a 6-pick because I'm going to get a lot more profit if it hits. That's what the sportsbooks want you to keep thinking about. The sportsbooks want you to make those decisions because that's human nature. Human nature is you want to win a lot more quickly. And that's why the sportsbooks are $50 billion companies plus, because they know that's human nature. What you have to do to become a winning bettor is you have to rewire your brain to go slightly against the grain, slightly against human nature, and focus on building things up slowly but surely. What's the point of chasing the 6-pick parlays that only hit, maybe once a month, if that? They may never hit, as opposed to hitting the single bets. Sure, you're only going to make a small small margin of profit, but remember, you're winning your bet and you're making profit. Do not focus on the amount of profit you're making. You're focusing on winning more bets and making profit. That's it. Everything else outside the 20-80-20, don't focus on. Focus on winning more bets and making profit. Are you going to make profit every single time? No, we don't win every single bet. It's not possible. It's not possible to win every single bet over the course of even a 365-day period. We're just focusing on winning more bets. The more bets you win, the more profit you make, the more your bankroll increases. Speaking of bankroll increasing, there's a reason why we don't say of your $1,000 bankroll, you're putting $200 in this. We start with the percentages, because what happens when you win and you make profit, your bankroll increases. So maybe after a week or so, maybe you're looking at a $3,000 bankroll. Then you still apply that 20% to the $3,000, not to the original $2,000. So what this does, doing the percentages of 20-80-20, as you continue to grow your bankroll, it allows you to bet more money because you have more money in your bankroll, which the percentages account for that. And so you keep growing more and more. But it also helps you when you lose money. So let's say you just have a horrible week where you were at 2,000 when you started, and now maybe you're at 1,500 or $1,000. Now that 20% when you're betting with $1,000 or less, that applies to that. So we started in this example, we started with 1,000. We could have a great week and go to 2,000, 3,000, or we can have a horrible week and maybe go down 500. Let's just say we have the worst week possible, the worst couple weeks possible, and we're down to $100. 20% of 100 is $20. So that's the most we can risk. And then we do the 80-20 based on that, which is $16 and $4 for the 80-20. So as you lose money, it scales down, so you're not risking the same amount. As you keep winning money, winning more profit, winning more bets, it scales up, which allows you to win more and more profit as opposed to keeping the same numbers. If anybody says they do like $10 units or $100 units, they're not a good sports bettor. Anybody, if you're looking for any kind of any help or any capper or anybody that says they're great and they say that their units are always the same amount, run away. Horrible bettor, horrible mindset. You need to scale as you win, scale up as you win, scale down as you lose. If you continuously have the same amount you bet and you keep winning, it's going to curb your growth, and when you have losing days, it's going to crush you because you're not you should be making more money with profit by scaling with the percentages. So yeah. And then, of course, if you're asking what a unit is, because I know I just referenced that, I do have a video on this channel that goes over units, but a unit essentially is 1% of your bankroll. If anybody says otherwise, don't really pay attention to them. That's kind of the universal 1%. One unit is 1%. If they say one unit is 10% or one unit is 0.025%, they're just, don't put your faith in people that are trying to do something that's different than the norm, essentially. So 1% is one unit is 1% of your bankroll. So going to a $100 bankroll again, what's 1% of 100? It's $1. So if somebody says I'm betting 2 units on that, that just means they're betting $2 if that's their bankroll, for example. But yeah, so I hope that this helped. I hope that you actually apply this, whether you're part of my community or not. And if you're not, it is a free community to join. Just simply click the Discord button on PlayerProps.ai. It's on if you're on desktop, it's on the top menu. If you're on mobile, it's on the bottom menu. We hope that you join us because we want to make you a winning bettor. We want you to lose less of your slips. I'm in your corner. I'm trying to provide as much insight into sports betting as possible for you, as much sports betting education to make it where you're not losing as often as you're probably losing, which is why you're watching this video in the first place. Comment if you have any questions on the YouTube channel, but it'd probably be easier if you just join the Discord and just ask me questions there as well. That is the number one reason why, number one mistake, why you are killing yourself when it comes to your bankroll and everything with sports betting. So please stop lighting money on fire. Stop chasing those crazy parlays. Simply implement the 20-80-20 rule. You're going to be off to a great start. Thanks for watching.